What is up, folks? Welcome back to the Mountain Witch Tarot channel. Let's talk about Jack Smith. Now, before we get started, take a moment, hit that like button, and if you are new here and you enjoy political divination, feel free to subscribe, stick around, become part of the community. I want to do this in a way where we see Jack Smith's energy versus Donald Trump's energy and how they kind of collide, so to speak. So okay, those two cards are demanding to come out. I keep getting two cards jumping out, so we're going to take them. I was going to say, let's start with Jack Smith. Let's get a few cards for his side. We'll get one more, and then we'll get a few cards with Donald Trump. Just overall energy reading for where this starts at and where they both stand. And let's go ahead and get 3 cards for Donald Trump's energy. Let's start over here with Trump's side. This is really interesting, and the one thing that comes to mind with these 3 combined is someone looking through kind of a skewed perspective of their own limits. Donald Trump is not understanding his own limitations here, and I think he's too focused on the wrong thing to be able to see that this is probably not the bear he needs to be poking. Okay, over on Jack's side, we've got the Magician, the 5 of Wands, and what is that? The Page of Wands. So I feel like with the Page of Wands, this is kind of him up for anything. The 5 of Wands is he's ready to have this fight. This is a fight that needs to be publicized. It needs to be brought out into the open. And the Magician, I think this is not just about how prepared Jack Smith is, but how confident he is. You know, he's the guy who is basically holding all the cards and knows all the tricks. And I think that to a really deep extent, he knows that he has something over Trump that Trump may never see coming. I'm interested to know if Donald Trump's lack of realistic expectations and perspective will lead him down a path that'll get him in trouble with this situation. And we'll kind of use this as the catalyst to whether or not this case even goes through, if we, see it develop or not. So the 10 of Cups and the Ace of Cups, interesting. I think there is a big energy here of thinking something's over and that he's in total control. And that there's not really a whole lot that can affect him at this point as far as anything Jack Smith can come up with. I think Donald Trump, going back to like with this 5 of Pentacles, that's where I'm getting the feeling that Donald Trump is not looking through the right scope to see this from a realistic point of view, because he thinks that he is in control of the narrative to the point that it's not going to have much of a profound impact to begin with. Let's get one more card to kind of go off of here. Yeah, so I think that this could possibly be Trump's downfall or his big misstep when it comes to the Jack Smith case. We do have the Death card here now. So this could lead him down the wrong path where he's overconfident and untouchable, at least, in his opinion. Something that I think is likely here is that Donald Trump will probably keep pushing this, because I heard some commentators say something about how that is one head on his wall of trophies that he is really eager to get, and that is Jack Smith. So, because we've seen Trump go after his political opponents up till this point, and Jack Smith is kind of like, I don't know, the golden goose or something, Oh, interesting. So we've got the Four of Wands, firmly established rules. The King of Cups. Yeah, so going back to emotions here, I think this is Trump thinking that he's home free and in control of the narrative of everything. He just is in a place where he truly believes he's untouchable. But is he truly untouchable? Because we do have the Death card here, so let's build on the Death card. And now the Two of Cups here likely is a reference to friends in high places, you know, like the Supreme Court, stuff like that. So he does have a little bit of plot armor, basically, at this point, but I don't think it's enough to really save him. Because, so here's the thing. We know that there are a lot of escape hatches and, I don't know, clauses that Trump has created for himself. He's very padded at this point. And it would be hard, you know, for anybody to have any meaningful impact on him. But the truth is, I think, is that if there are enough attacks coming from enough directions, I think the momentum would be enough for some type of change to occur. So I'm thinking if we have Jack Smith going at him, then we have the release of the Epstein files at the same time, plus what's happening, what we're seeing unfold right now with like SNAP benefits and healthcare, and like Trump is causing this major upheaval amongst his own base. He's punishing his own voters. So if the heat gets high enough from enough directions, I think that's when we could really start to see some serious squirming. To what degree, I don't know. All of this is kind of uncharted territory. So we're all kind of learning as we go. So the Ace of Wands, I feel like, you know, this is our spark in the dark. This is our you know, beginning of a new type of motion. Like it's coming into fruition. It's not here yet, but it's coming. Let's switch gears a little bit. Jack Smith doesn't have too many cards to go off of, so let's see what we can get now that we've kind of hit a point with Trump to stop at. So for Jack Smith's side, let's see if we can get some cards that will talk about is this for show, or does Jack Smith have a plan of some kind? Because I'm kind of getting the feeling with that Ace of Wands there that this is going to connect Trump's energy over to this side of the board. So we'll see. The Ten of Wands, so it's a big burden. He's very burdened by it. I think, you know, that's probably a good indicator that he has struggled maybe mentally and emotionally with the fact that he did not see this case through to the end. The King of Wands, I think this is him knowing that he's physically prepared for battle, so to speak, and having everything he needs, and he just needs the attention of the court, literally and metaphorically speaking. He just needs the attention of the court. The Queen of Swords is coming out to probably reference something to do with airing the truth and putting the truth out there once and for all to the American people, because they need to know. They need to know what they elected. But where does this get us? Any real movement, or is it just for show? And I think more than anything right now, I am looking for a specific card to come out in this reading, and that card is the Six of Wands. So we'll see if it shows up and whose side it shows up on, if at all. The Knight of Swords can be kind of a bad indicator for a case like this, because it can have a lot to do with rushing into something and maybe not being as prepared as you think you are. You're convinced that you're ready, but maybe you're actually not. The Nine of Swords, a lot of stress and worry. Page of Cups, finding inspiration to to forge ahead, but is there physical action? So we're looking for some wands card or some staffs. Physical action is what we want to see on Jack Smith's side. We have some physical action on Trump's side. So we have, obviously, those are some things that he can do to combat this situation or this case. We want to see some better staff cards over on Jack Smith's side. These three cards to me are a little bit of a reference to knowing the tricks that Donald Trump is famous for and kind of knowing in advance what these staffs or wands cards are going to be. He is prepared for it, and he is preparing. I think he is actively preparing for it, and he's wanting to grow this movement in the public eye and create, and this is going to sound weird, but this Nine of Swords here, I feel like he's wanting to cultivate a little bit of fear in the public surrounding the energy coming off of Donald Trump, because it'll put him in a position of the hanged man, of not really having anywhere to run, not really having any excuse. So I think what's coming through here is that it's not that it's for show. Okay, so we're not getting the Six of Wands card. What this is really about is he wants to put this information out so that people will never see Donald Trump the same as they once did. Like, maybe what he has on him is so extreme or so profound that once the public knows about it, there will never be any excuse ever again for what Donald Trump has done. Because there's always this plausible deniability that surrounds Donald Trump, and that's how he kind of obfuscates things to, most of the time. It's because there's always this plausible deniability. And you have to consider, we're talking about, the average citizen, all they know is their business at home. That's really what they're paying attention to. They're thinking about work. They're thinking about household chores. They're thinking about their kids. They're thinking about, everyday things. And they're only catching bits and pieces of Donald Trump. So it's easy for those people to perceive Donald Trump as, oh, well, he's not that bad, right? Same thing with like a lot of other figures on the alt-right side. They have a way of hiding things in plain sight. And, even if you dig a little bit deeper into Donald Trump, as the average citizen might do from time to time, he's able to hide this devil energy pretty easily. But I think what Jack Smith wants to do here is grow fear amongst the public, because it will reveal who Donald Trump really is, and he'll never be able to escape that scarlet letter, so to speak, which makes perfect sense to me. So while this may not be the type of, overall assault that can take him out of office once and for all, I think it's incredibly valuable just the same, because there are still so many people not seeing Donald Trump for what he really is. Believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of people are not seeing him for what he really truly is. And I think Jack Smith knows that enough of this information, it'll just be like the last nail in the coffin. Like, there'll be no denying it and no recovering Trump's good name. So that makes a lot of sense. So I wonder, what are the odds? Because it's looking like Donald Trump is about to step in it over here, because he's too confident. He thinks he's too untouchable. He's not seeing things from a realistic perspective. So what are the odds that this case sees the light of day? And this is going to be a far reach for tarot right now, because like I said, this is an early reading. The energy is not there yet. But we're going to give it a shot and see if we can get some type of intuitive guidance. The Nine of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Five of Cups. I think if we're going to see it happen, it's going to come when we least expect it. It's going to come out of nowhere. And it's going to be at possibly an inopportune time. And that's not really the answer I was looking for, but that's what's coming to mind here, is that it's going to come at a time that kind of blindsides everybody. Because I'm getting the vibe of seeing things from a different perspective, from a different, your feet are in a different place, in a different land, while you're distracted and while there's something else really bad going on. So it gives me the feeling that if this case sees the light of day, it's going to just come at a really weird time. I think now would be fantastic. This Five of Cups is it feels like the same type of energy as the vibe we have right now, the morale across the country. Things just feel hopeless right now. And I think, definitely a lot of Five of Cups energy going on these days. Do I think that means soon? I don't know, but I think it's going to come at a surprising time. So I don't know what that means. Like I said, we'll do another reading as more energy kind of collects, in the collective consciousness out there in the world. And we'll check in on it again and see what else we can get about it. But I think this is going to be a really interesting situation to watch play out. And I think it's going to do some really, really big damage to Donald Trump, and it probably will implicate a lot of his cabinet. I think it could definitely span past him and sort of infect the people around him as well. And that's good because, it gets rid of that plausible deniability crap that he's always got a big, thick layer of. I'd definitely like to see him face some repercussions, even if it's only to this degree. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think in the comments about this. Let me know what you think about the Jack Smith case. If you hear any new, fresh details on it, feel free to throw them down there in the comments as well. I always love reading your all's thoughts and opinions and commentary on this stuff. That will do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later.